Why would you sit down and waste precious time watching Frame by Frame? And that's a very good question that I can't really answer. National hero Jacob Suggs teamed up to help my mom watch The Boss Baby. The Boss Baby. It's a dank meme.
These nuts.
I can't resist participating in the festivities that are
roasting
The Boss Baby. I also quickly want to bring up the fact that if you look at a picture of the dad from The Boss Baby and a picture of me, we kind of look alike. And if you take a picture of Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker and put it next to a picture of me now, we also kind of look alike. So that being said, I had an epiphany. If The Boss Baby is a dank meme, and I look like the dad in this movie who is associated with a dank meme, and Tobey Maguire who's in this movie, does that mean I myself, Jacob Suggs, am a dank meme? I like to believe that I am. All jokes aside, let's talk about how much of a
fantastic
movie this was. There are a few good things in this movie, and stay with me. The animation in this movie is actually really good, but I've come to expect that from Dreamworks from this point. I mean, when it comes to animation, Dreamworks is pretty good, but when it comes to narrative and telling a story, they're usually hit or miss for me. I mean, I like Shrek. But just because you have good animation does not mean that you're gonna automatically have a good movie. Emoji movie. I'm joking. We all know that movie is gonna be perfect. But this movie is very colorful and it switches animation styles from like 3D to 2D animation. The movie tries to blend imagination with reality by switching the art style, and I just really like that. I thought it was a really clever idea that usually isn't tapped on whenever they're making an animated film. Or at least not in one I've seen in quite some time anyway, so it really stood out to me. That being said, the movie does blend imagination with reality, but the problem is, and the biggest problem with this movie is, it messes with the narrative. I have no idea when the kid, the main character Tim, is imagining something, or if it's actually happening. Like at the start of the film, I'm like, oh, okay, it'll be a really interesting idea to see how this kid gets to bond with his younger sibling because he's just imagining him as like a boss and so on. But no, turns out the Boss Baby is... Yeah, I don't get it either. I didn't expect to say this, but this movie's actually really hard to follow for that reason. We don't know what's real and what's fake. And the movie doesn't really distinguish that enough to where I can get behind it. For example, there's a scene early on in the film whenever our main character Tim gets proof of the Boss Baby talking and he wants to share that proof with his parents. So what does he do? He runs outside. However, the Boss Baby and his baby posse, who cares? The Boss Baby and his friends who are on a play date get in these little electronic cars and start chasing him. And that could be a really interesting, funny sequence. The problem is the movie doesn't do that because this movie doesn't even know what it wants to be. Like, at first I'm like, okay, it kind of makes sense. It's kind of funny and weird, I guess. But then one of the cars flips over and a gigantic explosion comes out of that. I don't understand that. So was this whole thing real? Was it fake? Was he just imagining it? I don't get it. And it's because the movie struggles narratively. Animation-wise, it's actually pretty good, but when it comes to having an actual plot, that's where this movie falls short. And to be honest with you, I expected nothing less. This movie felt really weird and out of place ever since I first heard about it. And I walk into every single movie I see with an open mind, with just a little bit of optimism that even the biggest piles of crap can have something that makes it worthwhile for me. I don't even know how this movie got made. Who greenlit The Boss Baby? It's literally that bad. I don't like to talk negatively about movies that often. I've been seeing so many great movies this year that I just thought it might be, interesting to expose my mind to a little bit of stupid. But even though I think that a healthy dose of stupid, like Paul Blart Mall Cop or something like that, is acceptable, this is unacceptable! Let me just pitch you this idea. Imagine that you're a screenwriter and you've been really passionate about this project and this script that you've written for years. So you send it into the studio and it comes down to your script and The Boss Baby, and they choose, dank meme, The Boss Baby, a script that somebody probably wrote in a matter of days, minutes, hours, who knows? They've made best animated features in the past. I know we all meme Shrek, but Shrek's a dank meme. And Dreamworks has made films that not necessarily the masses have liked, but I've personally liked. But this movie just feels so weird and bizarre that it really can't even fit into that category because it's so out of place and so out of left field. And even when things happen in this movie that are supposed to be weird, bizarre, and big twists, they come out of left field because it didn't make sense in the narrative. It all begins with a dank meme. Every movie starts being written on paper, or typed I guess now. And unfortunately, The Boss Baby's script is extremely weak. They try to have humor in the movie, they fail horribly, but let me give you an example of one of the jokes in this movie that I remember just for the sake of it being that bad. The Boss Baby needs Tim to suck on this pacifier to get him to see Baby Corp and this corporation that he works for. So he hands the pacifier to Tim and goes, "Hey, suck on this." And Tim's like, "Ew, I don't want to suck on that. You suck on that." If I could sum up this movie in 2 words, dank and meme, I've seen this plot so many times. You've seen this plot so many times. I can tell you so many films that have the plot of older sibling gets a younger sibling, they don't like each other at first, but through certain circumstances and certain evil people trying to work against them, have to team up, eventually become friends, and even more so, become brothers. That sounds so familiar to me, and I thought that maybe, even though I knew this film had that premise, it could add to that, but it doesn't. Because the script is lazy, the characters are lazy, everything about this film is lazy. It just feels like a product being pumped out on a line to get to the masses. There are moments in this movie that try to get you connected to the characters and emotionally care for them. But I can't because I never was, because they're not established enough. And whenever you do try to establish narrative and have a scene that could work, they try to inject it with a weird joke that once again feels out of left field and out of place. Towards the end of the film, there's supposed to be an emotional moment where Tim is reflecting on the events that have happened in the entire, film. And he's just sitting there thinking about the Boss Baby and his time with him, and all of a sudden his wizard alarm clock actually starts to have a physical and literal conversation with him. But it's an alarm clock, so 1, why, and 2, it's stuff like that that doesn't make sense. You're probably scratching your head wondering what the heck I'm talking about, but it's in the movie and it doesn't fit in the context of this movie. Maybe they were trying to be that ambitious or that ambiguous with how bizarre they wanted this project to be.
Just kidding, it's trash.
This movie is anti-originality, anti-creativity, and cinematic roadkill. I found this movie a complete chore to sit through, and I could never watch this movie again. I don't know how this movie got made, and I wholeheartedly apologize to the screenwriter whose script was passed for this one. It makes me sad, and it makes me angry. And it's yet another shameless trope that Hollywood continues to pump out to the masses because cute babies and good animation. But like I said, that doesn't make a good movie, and this is the epitome of that. I felt like it was an obligation to review this movie. I felt like I needed to rant about it to you all to tell you how bad it was, even though you probably already knew that. But I saw it the other day, and it's been on my mind a lot, and it's just frustrated me so much that I felt like I needed to talk about it. And this is the most negative review I've given to a movie probably this year. I can't really think of a super negative review that I published out this year, so I don't know. Then again, I have reviewed a ton of great movies this year, so it does kind of feel good knowing that I'm reviewing garbage. And it just goes to show you that I don't love every single movie that I see, so that's also nice. That being said, what did you think of The Boss Baby? Did you hate it as much as I did, or did you not somehow? Let me know down in the comments below. And as always, I'm FrameByFrame. Remember the name. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.